5 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. I think I should just sit and listen. Amber Hurdle is on the phone. She's going to talk about being a female entrepreneur. I'm sitting next to Robin McBlain. Robin McBlain is a female entrepreneur. I do a radio show. So maybe I better not say a whole lot and just listen. Amber Hurdle is also a former teen mom. She evolved into a powerhouse businesswoman, it says here. She works with international celebrities, Fortune 500 companies, women in business worldwide. She's the host of the Bombshell podcast, and she's probably going to invite Robin McBlain to be on that podcast one day. The Bombshell Businesswoman is the name of her book. If you're looking at the live streaming video that we're doing right now, also the recorded version of this, Amber's book is on the cover. The cover of the book is on the thing right there. I'll learn how to talk one day. The Bombshell Businesswoman, How to Become a Bold, Brave Female Entrepreneur. Well, Amber, you're meeting one of your own right now. Her name is Robin. Amber, Robin. I think I'll just sit here and listen. Good morning, Amber.
Good morning, Larry and Robin. Thanks so much for having me.
Where are you? Where are you calling from?
I am just outside of Nashville, Tennessee, but got back yesterday from Miramar Beach, so I was kind of closer to you this past week.
Oh, is that right? Dude, when you're in Nashville, it seems like a lot of the female country artists are basically businesswomen.
They are, yes.
I mean, you can't be selling records and not be in business, right? You got to be in that business.
Well, it is, and of course the country music industry, well, any entertainment industry is its own breed of entrepreneurism, so there's different strategies and tactics that you would need to build an audience and build a fan base, and then also nurture relationships within the industry, and that's maybe different than a brick and mortar business. So again, it's an understanding who you are and how to attract the right people to what that is, as I'm sure Robin knows a ton about. I saw that you actually sing as well. Did I see that on the website?
Sing?
Oh, Larry and I together.
Oh, yeah, we've done stuff
Larry
together.
Writes, yeah.
But I'm not a business person. Robin is more of a business person. Do you know, but I often think that in our world, we are blinded to the fact, even though we live in a country where you could do whatever you want to do with business, you can start your own business easier probably than most other countries. I know people will argue with that, but I think you can. And yet, a lot of times we slip into that I've got to work for somebody else kind of mentality. So I love the fact that you're an entrepreneur.
Well, and I also like to, one of my favorite words is and. I hate having to pick or. And so a lot of women choose to be a full-time employee or maybe even a part-time employee, and then also have a side hustle, or maybe they have multiple side hustles, or they're multi-passionate. And I think the important thing to remember is whether you do want a brick and mortar business and you want customers coming in and out and be involved in your community, or you want to be completely online, or you want to have some security or go into an office every day because you enjoy that, or you want to be a part of something bigger, and you also want to have this side business, that's all fine. This is America. We're free. We're free to do what we want to. And I do agree that, I mean, if you can get an internet connection and, $100, you can get going.
I like that, yeah.
Side hustle. I've never heard that before. And that really, really sets home, because people just can't get up in the morning and say, okay, this is what I want, and then sit back and wait for somebody else to discover you. You have to go out and actually do it yourself.
Exactly.
Do you know what
I mean, multiple income streams is always a wise thing when you're thinking about your long-term, retirement or what you want to be able to do for your children or your life, or how you want to contribute to your community or the world. There's no rules.
Do you know, in fiction, I guess, we always picture the business person to be cutthroat, but I know from Robin is the nicest person you're ever going to meet, and she's successful as a businesswoman. And it sounds like I hear the same thing in you. And it's hard for you to comment on how nice you are, because nobody likes to do that. But I can hear it. It's like you're concerned about your family. So obviously the thing that really motivates you is providing.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that is definitely, I tease all the time that I still have single mom syndrome. I mean, it doesn't matter how well I do or how successful I am, I will always have the mindset of the single mom who has to, make it happen. And the provider part, oftentimes, at least in probably not as much anymore, but before you think of, the dad as the primary provider, and, women in general, and this is certainly not my standard, and I'm not putting a blanket statement on anyone, but maybe the perception is that the father's a provider and the mother is the one who, tends to the family and that sort of thing. Well, I had to be both. There was no line, there was no help. It was the Amber show, and so I do have a strong desire to provide, but not just for my family, but I think women also tend to have a more of a giving nature in general, and we also tend to carry a lot of guilt of how much time we're spending away from our families or whatever. But the way that I look at the capacity for female entrepreneurs is that we can be in more control of our time. We can choose to be more intentional with our time, with our children or our spouses or our families or whatever that personal life looks like. And the more successful you are, the more you can give back. And at the end of the day, whether it's our how we serve others professionally with our gifts, and we just happen to get money in exchange for that, or how we serve as a volunteer or whatever, or with our money and gifts. We're all here on this planet to serve each other. Like, if that's not happening, you're probably not going to be a happy person. So,
I think you're right. Yeah.
I think men
what
have
better avenue than entrepreneurism?
But I think men have emotional ties also, and they have emotions toward their children. And I know a lot of men that genuinely love their children, and they don't.
Absolutely.
And they want the best for them.
Yeah, and my dad was I went to private school on him being a drummer, and he's always had a fantastic. Like, I tell him all the time, you could be a world-class drummer, Dad, but your number one gift in this world is being a father. Mine has been an amazing father, so I'm not taking away from men. I just know they have enough people out there.
So you know what I was wanting you to do, Amber? Talk to the women who hear what you're saying, and they say, yeah, but what could I do? What kind of business could I be in? And if I could ask you to kind of have an extra part to this question is, tell them what to stay away from. I know we've got a lot of these infomercial people that want to sell you a $350 box full of nothing.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Here, sell my stuff and you'll make a lot of money. But how do they discover, speak to the women, how do they discover what kind of a business they should go into?
Yeah, so I actually have an entire chapter on this in the Bombshell Businesswoman. It's chapter 4, called Following Your Breadcrumbs. And I take readers through the journey of the different things that I did in my career, and I encourage them to follow their own breadcrumbs, because and it doesn't have to be your career. Whether there's some consistent things that you were passionate about that other people said, wow, you're so good at this. Whether it was in your volunteerism or just who you are in your friend group or your family. Are you the person who always brings people together? Are you the person who always plans the trips? I mean, there's so many breadcrumbs that we weave along our journey to where we're going. But if you look back and you evaluate, where are the common threads in that? You could probably get a good idea of where you need to go professionally. And what you want to avoid, I call it, well, I won't get into all that, but what you want to avoid is doing something that is not a validated idea. If you don't think people are going to part with their hard-earned money, if you are not solving somebody's problem, they are not going to come up off their cash.
Yeah.
So that's number one.
That's a good one.
Because either it's a hobby, and if you want to do something as a hobby, then that's fine. But if you want to call it a business, then there is an exchange of you solving problems and somebody giving you money to solve their problems. So that's number one. But then also, is there a big enough market? Are there enough people? I mean, I could sell 10-foot long friendship bracelets all day long, but how many people are going to buy that? I mean, you've got to have, you know what I mean?
Right.
Not 10 feet long.
Well, I just like to pull things ridiculous out of the air to make a point that, I mean, I could be very specific about some things that I've seen women like, I want to be and I'm sorry if your listeners are wanting to be this, but being a goddess luminary for highly sensitive women does not really tell me what problem you're solving. Now, if you want to say you want to be a life coach for women in transition, that's tangible. I'm losing sleep over that at night, and I will give you money to solve that problem. But you start talking about being a goddess luminary guide for blah blah blah, like you've lost me.
Oh God, not me. A god. Not me. I could go for
you a goddess luminary.
There might be a role for that lady somewhere.
And that's
Robin and I will sidebar on that.
And that's one of the key points in your book, is that you have to take stock of your situation. You have to bring yourself into the true reality of life. Otherwise, you're not going to be successful.
Right. I am so practical. And I think that sometimes we're afraid of failing. We're afraid of hurting other people's feelings. There's just so much fear. And this is men and women. But again, I'm the spokesperson for women. So I see just that, my mom didn't speak kindly to me. My husband left me. I used to be promiscuous, which, if you compare that to a man, again, like, are we really talking about, the same thing here? Probably not. Mm-hmm. But there's all this junk that we carry around with ourselves that at the end of the day, when the whole world is saying, well, you could be pretty, but don't be too sexy. Well, you could be bold, but don't be a B word.
It's a different world for women than it is for men. Mm-hmm. Amber Hurdle is our guest. We have to take a break, Amber, but we will be back with you. The Bombshell Businesswoman is the name of the book. One of the things, I'm going to kind of give you a teaser of where I want to go when we come back. Radio is the advertising business, and one of the things I love to do is to help people get the word out about what they're doing. But I don't want to sell somebody on the wrong thing. I don't want to tell somebody, okay, you started a business. Why don't you spend $6,000 a week advertising, and then next thing you know, I'm a party to you going broke instead of helping you get the word out there. So you've got a plan called the Red Lipstick Marketing Plan. So if you could talk about that a little bit on the other side of the break. Let's take that break, and we will be right back with Amber Hurdle.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accidents. On this Monday, sunshine mixing with clouds. A shower in spots at any time. There can be an afternoon thunderstorm in the area as well. High 86 to 90. Partly to mostly cloudy Monday night with a couple of showers around, mainly later. Low 68 inland, 74 at the coast. For Tuesday, variable cloudiness and not as warm with a shower and thunderstorm or two. It'll become breezy in the afternoon. The high 76 to 82. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hi, I'm Seth with AA Lock, Dock, and Security. Have you ever thought about the locks or security on your house or business? Have you ever wondered why the keys to your new car cost so much? Well, at AA Lock, Dock, and Security, we can help with securing your valuables. We can even replace those expensive transponder keys. We can give you the knowledge that no one else will. Call AA Lock, Dock, and Security at 867-1965. That's 867-1965.
Hey, this is Matt Wilkerson from Verizon. You work all day, right? So why would you want to spend your night out shopping for that new phone? Well, Marion County, let me and Verizon help you out. I can deliver to your home or office, saving you precious time. Phone, tablets, internet, home phones, even accessories. Whatever you need, we will deliver free of charge. Call me at the store, 352-528-0020. That's 528-0020.
All right, 19 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Amber Hurdle is on the phone up in Nashville, Tennessee. She's talking about her book, The Bombshell Businesswoman, How to Become a Bold, Brave Female Entrepreneur, and a lot of good, solid advice. I could tell right away that you're a practical woman.
Very much so. I mean, I am definitely a dreamer as well, obviously, or I probably wouldn't have made it out of the dark forest that I was in as a teen mom. But if your dream doesn't have an actionable plan to get there, you're always going to be dreaming. So I like to give very tangible ways that women can take action towards what it is they ultimately want.
All right, I wanted you to talk about the marketing plan, but before you do that, I want to tell you something about Robin and wondering if it's true for you too. Robin had a lot of ideas for things that could have been like a new invention. She could have had a couple of patents, and then she will tell me the idea, and then we broadcast from a mall, so we look out the window, and every once in a while, Robin will see one of her inventions go past.
Yeah.
and I remember her telling me this, that, or the other thing, whether it's for a baby stroller, she had an idea. There was a couple of ideas she had, and you'll see other people with those ideas, and if you don't capitalize on it when you have it, somebody else is going to have the idea and make money from it. Does that happen to you?
It does, but I'm also very I'm careful to not get all squirrely. And when I make very intentional goals every single year, and I move towards those goals. So if there's an idea that I have, and it's not going to move towards what I've decided for that year, then I put it in what I call my idea parking lot. And if I can come back to it and it's still a viable idea, then great. And if it passed me by, then I just don't think it was meant to be, because we could go off on, rabbit trails all day long, every day. We're smart ladies,
That's
right, Robin?
true.
I mean, we've got a lot of
Exactly.
ideas. So you can't just keep starting over with a new idea every time you have one. You have to decide, is this going to serve my big why? At the end of the day, why am I doing all of this? Will that get me to my big why faster than what I'm working on right now? And am I willing to make that trade-off in order to pursue this new thing? That's, again, I'm very practical.
Yeah, really.
But you have to be able to follow through. You can't just have the ideas. You have to have that inner drive.
Right.
How do you, and how do you tell people you got to have that inner drive to pursue this?
Well, and again, I go back to the big why is the foundation of it all. I had a big why that my daughter was going to turn 18 years old and have every opportunity that any child that was not born to a teen mom would have. And so that drove me through sleepless nights, working 4 jobs, dealing with a lot of crud that women have to deal with throughout our career, and finding ways, over and around it. And so that's the number one drive. But then really having goals, and I've got a chapter called Glamour Goals that takes you through, okay, this is going to help me drive towards my big why, but here's how in the short term I'm going to focus my time and my energy. And then here are all the little supporting goals that I just need to worry about this in the day, for the day. Or if I can just get this done in the next 30 days, I'm going to move that much closer to that end goal. And there are times where it's not comfortable. Let me tell you what, writing a book about being a teen mom and going back through all that stuff, this has not been the most comfortable year for me.
Wow. And I'm wondering about that too. In sharing that and the discomfort that you had to endure in order to just be honest, were you doing it so that other women in your circumstance could say, you know what, if she can do it, I can do it?
Yes, absolutely. The first 4 chapters of this book is completely to eliminate excuses, because, we all have a story. My story is not any more valid or important, or, it's just, it happens to be mine. But what I found in my one-on-one work with women, female business owners, is how much of their story, and mine too. I'm not perfect. I'm on the journey as well. So, our stuff and our stories sometimes hold us back, and we just have to say, you know what, this is part of the bigger picture, and I'm going to suck it up, and I'm going to figure out how to make this work for me, because these are the things that matter to me. And so this year I was going to get this book published because I wanted to reach women at a much bigger level than women who listen to podcasts, or women that I could reach, one-on-one, or women who can't afford me. If you have $14.99 in your pocket, you get this advice plus a free bonus workbook with all of this in it. And that was so important to me.
And how old is your child now?
She is 21 years old. She is a senior in college, and she's also a licensed real estate agent who is showing houses and doing fabulous. And I couldn't be more proud of her. She is a bombshell herself now. It takes a lot of chutzpah, a lot of patience and effort, and a lot of suck it up.
Boy, that was a natural pronunciation of a Yiddish word if I ever heard one. All right,
another life.
Hey, by the way, just is me talking because I'm a man. You are a bombshell. Look at you. I'm looking at your picture. You have 37 reviews on Amazon, and they're all 5-star reviews. That's pretty good. You must feel good about the book.
Well, I'll tell you what is more important to me than even the public reviews is when a woman emails me, and my listeners are so great about telling me, how they've applied the information to their business or their life, and what it's done for them, and how they're, even passing that on to other women. But in the past week, I've gotten so many emails from women who have said, I cried through all of this. I'm a strong woman, and now I realize that
Yes.
I'm not even close to my potential, and I'm
That's
willing to
awesome.
do what it takes.
Oh my gosh.
That moves me.
I think
y'all
you-
can leave me some reviews, but you send me those emails, and I'm going to be crying with you.
You know what? You're really doing a wonderful thing. This crazy story of this guy, this movie producer that's got all these sexual things.
Oh, my God.
I mean, you ladies, and I'm sorry to bring it up in your, but this is the experience ladies have in our world. We have such a dumb, stupid sex thing going on in us men. Not me, but every other man. but I
That's
mean,
why I redefine the term. To me, a bombshell is not you're a gorgeous woman. A bombshell, if you think about when a woman walks in a room and everybody turns their attention to her, it's not because she's drop dead gorgeous. That goes away. It's because she likes herself. She's comfortable in her own skin. She walks into that room with some confidence. So
well,
to
that's
me,
awesome. Yeah.
Bold, brave, female, and it could be any professional woman, but I'm speaking to female entrepreneurs.
And I love your mantra. No matter what life throws at you, you can find your own purpose and pursue it.
Yes.
But see, what I was going to say with that Weinstein story is, I'm hoping that some ladies say, you know what, I could be the next producer. We don't need to have some man who's tossing around the money because we can do it ourselves.
Exactly.
And then you don't have to put up with that nonsense. And then if Johnny Depp wants a role, forget it.
Right.
He doesn't get anything.
Yeah.
Right. But that takes women coming together too and supporting each other. And I mean, there's probably not a woman who doesn't have a story like what is coming out right now. But what we can do, because you can get blacklisted and it can impact your career. So I'm not throwing any of those women under the bus, but what we can do is intentionally support each other. So it's not us versus them anymore. We are a bigger group of supportive women. Instead of tearing each other down, we can find ways, even when we're competing with each other, to elevate each other, because ultimately it's good for everyone.
You should run for president.
Yes. The bombshell
Have your name in
businesswoman.
that.
The
That's
bombshell
right.
businesswoman. Okay,
Exactly.
I promised we would talk about the marketing plan, and the reason I think this is important is because of this. If you have a great idea and you want to get it out to the world, you have to market it. But the problem is sometimes marketing is what is it called? Prohibitive?
Yes.
Right? And yet it's still necessary. It's kind of one of the necessary evils. And I'm not saying you shouldn't spend money on advertising. Obviously, that's how we make our livings. But what would you suggest to an entrepreneur, a beginning entrepreneurial lady, and how does the red lipstick fit into this?
Well, I call it the red lipstick marketing plan, because if you threw on a pair of sunglasses and put on a hat, or not even put a hat, pulled your hair up and just put some red lipstick on, you have a lot of impact for a very small amount of effort. Nobody knows that you don't have a full face of makeup on. Now, you could do the whole Kardashian super contour and spend 3 hours in front of the mirror, but you're really not adding any value to yourself by doing all of that. So I think what a lot of female entrepreneurs who maybe don't have a PR or marketing background like I do, they're so overwhelmed by the options, and everybody is selling them. And I loved hearing you say, like, I could sell you a $6,000 advertising campaign, but if that's going to put you under before you even make it out of the gate, that's not helping anybody. So it does need to be mutually beneficial. And so I break it down into very tactical and easy paths to take. So I have active marketing strategies, passive marketing strategies, and then keep in touch marketing strategies. It is literally a table, and you just check which ones you're going to do, and just focus on those 3 things for the first month. You want to put your money where the biggest impact is going to be, and that you have to first be, again, clear on who is it that you're trying to attract to your business. And so you go to where they are. If I just had a conversation today, somebody trying to sell me advertising, and I was like, you know what? This sounds great. It's a bargain, but that's not my market. They're not reading your publication. So thank you, but no thank you. Instead of just thinking, oh, that fits my budget, let me do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I take
Good
them
for
through,
you.
and I have them decide, like, okay, well, this is the goal that I have for this particular 3 months, and this is how I'm going to measure if things are effective or not. And then at the end of 3 months, you measure each of these categories. If something's working, do more of it, maybe invest more in that.
Yeah.
And if it's not working, switch it up. That's okay. You're an entrepreneur. You get to be nimble.
Amber, you are amazing. A strong, smart lady. Thank you for being on the show to share this with us.
Thank you so much for having
the
me.
book is The Bombshell Businesswoman. I found it on Amazon. Real quickly, is your name, your website, amberhurdle.com?
It is. There's thebombshellbusinesswoman.com for the book and the bonuses that come with the book. And then my primary website is amberhurdle.com.
Okay, and we'll put this interview up as a podcast. Thank you, Amber. Good luck with everything. We'll be right back.
This is a Fox News Alert. I'm Lillian Wu. Army Sergeant Bo Bergdahl has just pled guilty at his court-martial trial.
Bergdahl is charged with desertion and misbehaving before the enemy, 2 crimes in military justice that call for the death penalty.
Fox Radio's Evan Brown says because of his guilty plea,
He's not expected to be condemned to die. Life sentence is a possibility.
Bergdahl left his post in Afghanistan in 2009 and was taken captive by the Taliban. In Northern California, some wildfire evacuees getting the green light to return home as firefighters gain ground against the most destructive wildfires in the state's history.
The number of those